All right, guys. Injuries for practice today. Yetur, knee, won't practice. Juice, concussion, won't practice. Burford, knee, won't practice. Saron Neal, concussion, won't practice. Trent Williams, knee/vet day, won't practice. Juwan Jennings, ankle/shoulder, won't practice. McCaffrey, calf/vet day, won't practice. Bosa, vet day. Brock Purdy, left shoulder/toe, will be limited. That's it.
He's progressing well with his toe injury.
Oh, yeah, he wasn't limited last week, so yeah, he does have a chance.
Is there a possibility that he could be the emergency backup on Sunday?
Yes. Yep.
Just curious, Coach, what are those conversations like between you and Brock Purdy being there? I know you don't want to rush him back, but turf toe is something that takes a little time. And then Mac Jones playing the way he played, you kind of think it's not too much urgency to rush him back. What's those conversations like for you?
Mainly just how he's feeling and how he thinks he can go, what he thinks he can do today, what's he think he could do tomorrow, Friday, and Sunday. Really doesn't have anything to do with how Mac played, whether it was good or bad. Doesn't really affect that. I just talk about where Brock's at right now.
Mostly managing pain.
I don't know. You can ask them. I think it's painful and an injury, so it's both.
Indicated that Spencer Burford's injury, you were going to need to find out more, and that you may have to take it another direction. I think you said. Where do you think he is now?
We're still in the same spot. We're going to see how he responds throughout the week and give him the whole week and assess it as it goes.
Kyle, when you looked at the turnover, did you think it was the quarterback hitching one too many times and holding it, or is it on the receiver for not getting the separation? What did you guys decide?
No, it was holding on to too long. The play we wanted, where we thought it was going to go, wasn't there. So Mac had to wait a little bit longer to get the look we weren't expecting. So I didn't like the play call. But you had to sit there and take 3 hitches with him that deep. That's usually what I expect to happen. We'd love to get rid of it just 1 hitch earlier.
I feel like Kendrick Bourne kind of got back into the swing of things here.
I thought he did a good job. I mean, just getting out there, he didn't get to play a lot in New England. You know, he was injured most of training camp, so getting his conditioning back, getting back to learning what our offense, getting lined up and stuff. I thought he had a good first game and made some good catches too.
When you think of Ricky, I know you spoke about how well he played in the game and the plays he made in that game. Just want to know from your perspective the jump he's made, being that he actually got a real start this season and he's been able to get out there. No touchdowns in the last game, but he was pivotal in the win. What do you think the jump has been for Ricky from last season to this season?
A lot. I mean, mainly just from practicing. You know, he didn't get to practice last year, really until he came back. You know, he missed training camp with a shoulder and hamstring injury, and then right when he came back, he got shot. So when he came back week 4 or 5, whatever it was, not only was that first time him coming back, it was kind of his first time practicing too. It's a little bit of like kind of what Jordan Watkins has been in, getting hurt real early in camp and just coming back really last week or whatever it was. But just we saw Ricky get so much better throughout the end of last year being out there, and he took it to the off season. And when guys are talented enough and made of the right stuff, it's all they need to do is practice and they get better.
The running game right now, yards per carry are low. Our defense is just loading the box, or
no, it's actually more the opposite. More 2-shell defenses and stuff. The blitzes and stuff was considered low in the box, but they're doing it with more 2-shell stuff. But we haven't got a big one. I think it's harder to get big ones versus 2-shell. You know, I think versus the Saints, I think we had the longest carry on them versus 2-shell defense in a year and 1 games, and I think it was 13 yards. But there's a couple plays that we've been one guy off on that I thought we could have got a big one on, especially versus some 8-man fronts. But it takes 11 guys to do it. You can't get a big one when one guy's off. But I'm not too concerned with the run game, but I'd like to get more production.
Since you've been here, Arizona's been a pretty tough game for the 49ers, and I think it's 7-9 or something against them. Is there, and they under 4 different coaches for them, is there a common denominator which would make them fairly tough for the 49ers?
I mean, when you change coaches, it's always different with scheme and stuff, but they always present a problem schematically. I mean, just since Gannon's been there these last few years, they present a lot of problems. And I think anytime you got a quarterback like Kyler, regardless of how the game's going, or how good you're doing schematically, you never know when he can unlock something and get an off schedule. But they've been a tough team. Most of our division opponents are. I mean, we battle with all those guys, so nothing in particular, but I think they've had good coaches and good players.
Jier Brown, I assume he's disappointed that he's not starting. What do you make of how he's handled things and what he did with his opportunity on Sunday?
Tiggs handled things great. You know, he's been the same guy, played the same way. I think he's done a good job on teams, getting more reps there, and thought he did a good job with his big nickel role last week. He's done a good job in practice, which kind of earned him that role, and been real happy with Tig.
How was Brandon Ayuk progressing? I know that you said he could return around weeks 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, he's progressing. Yep.
You say D. Winters has improved from last year.
I think a lot. You know, I think D. Winters is a guy we wanted to get in there early. He ended up getting a high ankle sprain last year and kept zinging it. But once he kind of got in there and started going consistently and staying healthy, you could see it towards the end of the year, just like what I was saying with Ricky a little bit ago. And then just this entire offseason, getting all the reps in OTAs, all the reps in training camp, staying healthy so he didn't have any setbacks. And D's made of the right stuff, and he just gets better the more he's out there.
A mindset that a player like him goes through when, you know, last year he knew that Dre was always back there. Whenever Dre was healthy, he was going to be the guy. But this year, it's clearly his job. Is there something about that?
I think there is. I mean, I think guys always like that role more, and but I've seen it go both ways. And sometimes you think it's your job, and people lose their edge a little bit, and it makes them worse. Sometimes people are so worried about how good the guy is behind them or ahead of them that they're so on their stuff every second it makes them better. So I don't know if that had an effect on D. You'd have to ask him, but we've been a fan of D for a while. Greenlaw was ahead of him. Dre was going to move into that early last year, but the injury set him back, and now he's gotten his opportunity. He's run with it.
Christian had a 20-yard comeback catch on 3rd and long. Where does he rank as far as route running is with the backs you've seen and coached?
The best.
Far and away the best?
Yes. Yep, definitely.
Defensive Player of the Week for NFC. Before his ankle injury last year, it looked like he was having an incredible season. Do you feel like he's back at that stage now?
Yeah, I do. I think I think Fred kind of always plays at that level. I know he was playing through some stuff last year, and I think it was more that how we were playing around him also, or just as much as that. But Fred, I mean, well-deserved with what he did last week. I feel like he can almost get that every week. But Fred's having a hell of a year so far. Like, I can't think of a year he hasn't, though.
Did Michael and Alfred improve from game 1 to game 2?
I think a lot. You know, they did some good things in game 1, but we saw even better in game 2. Alfred got out there more, flashed a bunch. I see both of those guys just working the right way, made of the right stuff. Alfred's been stringing together a lot of stuff because he's been able to avoid injury. Michael's getting back and getting used to it, and I thought it was a big improvement in week 2.
With Tonjes, he had a nice, pancake block on Farrell's touchdown. I assume he's still a work in progress as a blocker, but how much has he improved since you got him?
A lot. You know, he came in as more of a pass game guy, and if you're a tight end and you're just a pass game guy, you can call yourself a tight end, but you're really just another receiver. So you got to be able to block, and he's shown us that. He's been able to do it from the eye at a fullback position. He's been able to do it on the line of scrimmage, so he keeps improving at that all the time.
Along those lines, Kittle's out. Now Juice might miss this week. We'll see. I mean, how much stress does that put on you to find ways to use these tight ends? How much stress does it put on the tight ends?
I mean, it puts a lot on those guys. You know, anytime you're missing 2 good players like that, I think it's a little easier for those guys when we can prepare for it more. It's a little harder in the game. You want to prepare for everything, but sometimes you prepare for everything and it makes them not good at anything. So when that happens in the game early, that's kind of took us a while to adjust to it, but I thought they did a hell of a job on Sunday, and them going through that makes them even more prepared for that situation this week.
Named a starter pretty quickly. What is it about his mental approach to the game and what he's like just off the field that made you give him that opportunity?
I mean, we loved his ability with, his speed and the way he hits and everything. But just watching him early, he missed OTAs, so we weren't totally sure. We thought he had a chance just watching him in his college film. But even when he was out in OTAs, just how attentive he was in meetings, the way he'd ask questions. Once he got his opportunity in training camp, it seemed like he had been working throughout OTAs. I think he's a guy who gives it his all off the field in terms of preparation, conditioning, all that stuff in the weight room, but mainly the mental approach. And so when he's gone in there and been prepared mentally, he's got the speed and he's got the courage to hit, and his body's built that way that can make him a pretty good player.
Connor Colby's performance surprise you at all?
Not really.
From a point at Iowa where the footwork was kind of suspect on pass pro and stuff to where he gives up no pressures in a full NFL
He's been pretty. I think pass pro has kind of been his strength. We've noticed since he's been here. You know, he's been a tough guy to get around. We could see it in one-on-ones early in camp. I think his adjustment has been a little bit more the run game, just a little bit more our style. I think it was in that game too versus New Orleans. But no, that's why he made our team. You know, he beat out some good players, some guys who've been in this league before. So I think in order to do that, we got to feel pretty high on him.
Where does Bryce Huff's sack rank as far as the fastest sacks you've ever seen?
I don't really know that stuff, but since I don't have like an automatic miles per hour GPS in my head, it looked fast. A lot of them look fast. I've seen Dwight Freeney used to like be the fastest I've ever seen. Those were like my first few years as a coordinator. But I was told by analytics I was the fastest at 2.2, so I guess I was the fastest. I don't know if Freeney had a GPS on him though back then. All right, guys, thanks.